Alright, it's recording, right?
Okay, so I felt that your scheme of work, insofar as clarity, I felt that it was extremely clear, well structured, had a really nice healthy balance between its detail but then the accessibility of that detail. You know, it was very specific but also quite easy to read, which was a good balance. The language was very simple and to the point, which is a great thing. I felt that the aims were you used an effective use of action verbs while you were writing, keywords like demonstrate and identify, etc. Your objectives were very realistic, especially given the sort of the 10-week core structure that you were using. But then the good thing about the objectives was they all sort of flowed together and blended together thematically as well. Like, it all made sense. The natural sort of transition, the trajectory of the progression was really good. Well done. The only thing, but then I wouldn't really know where you would put it either, is sort of when you're looking at the individual learner needs and the collective class needs as well. I know that there isn't a separate category to sort of stipulate those, but maybe just sort of conflate that into your language when you're talking about your learners and the activities you're going to make them do. Maybe just a sort of a side reference, mention what it is they need to be doing as well, collectively and individually, you know, skills to promote and stuff, sort of the needs of their class. I felt that the development of skills was fantastic. You have this sort of healthy balance of analytical skills, generic writing skills, and life skills such as time management and collaboration with each other, which is, you know, what it's all about, embedded learning. The best thing about this scheme of work, I thought, was the timings. It was compact. Very compact content in one week segments. There was plenty to do, but you know, with a firm execution, there's no reason why it can't be done. It's better to have too much to do than too little, I think, at the end of the day, because at least then you can sort of edit, given the day-to-day stuff in the class. I thought it was very appropriate considering the sort of age range and the level of learning that the students are on, all the objectives and aims and the sort of activities, the teaching methods you were incorporating. Again, the very achievable goals. Your types of assessment that you mentioned in your scheme of work: diagnostic, formative, Q&A, with 2 4-weekly summatives as well. Perfect, you know. I think that's exactly what that class need, and plenty of homework as well. Your teaching learning methods are sort of the bread and butter teaching learning methods. You've got teacher-led group activities, lots of handouts. My only slight comment with the amount of handouts will be maybe try to keep an analogue of the handouts they've got, so when you hand them out, make sure they're sticking them in like maybe a journal or something, because I give handouts all the time and you just have to keep reprinting, so maybe that might be something to consider. And then we'll move on to your essay. I mean, obviously being an essayist, your critical thinking, it was insightful, clear understanding of the practical differences between vocational and academic schemes of work, and that was expansive, really, you know, including expectations, motivations, career aims of the sorts of students who go on to those types of courses, not just the day-to-day difference between academic courses being very much compromised and underpinned by theory, and vocational courses being about the training and practical application of skill. You went further than just that. You looked at it in a wider context, which I thought was brilliant. Your theory is completely appropriate, and it's always used to illuminate a point you've made. You're not just sledgehammering it in there, which is to be expected. Your referencing was perfect. Your use of English as a literature student to be expected: concise, accessible, academically eloquent. Structure and technicals, it's, you know, exemplary. You, in terms of your assessment in your comparison of the essays, you'd recognise that the differences, you defined them, you compared them and contrasted them, the ones that were similar, the ones that were different. You also highlighted the key flaws and maybe the inappropriateness of certain types of assessment, which are very good. I mean, if talking in regards to the thoroughness of the comparative analysis, you strategised, prioritised key aspects of comparison, and then you articulated your observations on them fully. bearing in mind this is a 1,500 word essay, it's fantastic. Your examples to wider literature and discipline, you had Gravels, Tummun, Frey, wider theory, completely correlated. You had a variety of sources, and considering the scheme of work you had to work with, you'd use that as, a springboard, which wasn't really much of a springboard in the first place, and you went further. And then my last comment is original thought. The only thing I could maybe contribute just to take it to that next level is maybe include more of how your previous teaching and the specific examples of your previous teaching have influenced your understanding of how those schemes of works have been formulated and the comparisons between them. Just maybe a little bit more reflection. I understand that with the 1,500 words, it's extremely difficult. You took into account the different needs of certain students, i.e. those with dyslexia and etc. And the thing I absolutely loved about it the most was that you put a healthy paragraph of what to do next, how to plan for differentiation, how to take what you've done and then allow that to inform what you're going to do next time, which I think is the perfect way to conclude the essay. As I say, the only comment I would say is maybe incorporate more of your prior experience and prior learning into it so that we get a sense of how you reflect back on the actual things that have happened, not so theoretically. But all in all, perfect.
That's it. Yeah.